It's been a highly emotional day for friends, family, and neighbors of Karina Vetrano, the young woman who was murdered while jogging near her home. As our Nate Rogers reports, with a guilty verdict for the killer, the tight-knit community of Howard Beach now is even closer.
Bill, the Vetrano family has waited nearly 3 years to finally claim justice for Karina. Tuesday, NYPD officers guarded the Vetranos' Howard Beach home as family members asked not to be disturbed. We did, however, speak with neighbors who call Monday night's conviction a victory.
Well, I think it's fair. I mean, if in fact he did do the crime, which the evidence shows that he did, then it's a fair conviction and it gives the family closure.
They were saying he was puny, they think he didn't have the strength to do such a thing, and she was just dragged, and God only knows what else happened to her.
A Queens jury deliberated for 5 hours Monday before finding 22-year-old Chanel Lewis guilty of second-degree murder and first-degree sexual abuse.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
Vetrano's father found the 30-year-old dead after she went jogging at Spring Creek Park August 2nd, 2016. Perhaps the prosecution's most convincing evidence, a videotaped confession by Lewis.
Was she still moving while you were strangling her around the neck?
She's moving quite a little bit, yeah.
Is that when she scratched your face?
No, it was when I was hitting.
When you were hitting her, she scratched your face? Okay.
Lewis's first trial ended with a hung jury, but a second time around, Vetrano's parents got the news they were hoping for.
Thank you, Jesus. Jubilation.
Defense attorneys argue Lewis was coached into confessing. Family members say he suffers from mental illness. Defense attorneys also claimed racial profiling in the case after an anonymous letter surfaced saying 2 white men were initially suspects. Defense attorneys will now appeal the verdict. Lewis is back in court for sentencing April 17th. He could face life in prison without parole. In Howard Beach, Queens, I'm Nate Rogers for Chasing News.
Thanks, Nate. Let's bring in tonight's A-Plus panel. We're joined by Bill Caruso, attorney and Democratic strategist. Good to see you, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bob Bianchi also back with us. Bob is a former prosecutor and now defense attorney. Good to see you, Bob.
Hey, Bill.
Bob, I'm going to start with you. Let's just take it from a prosecutor standpoint. First time, lengthy trial, hung jury, nothing. Now, relatively quick verdict. What do you think?
Right, not unusual. I mean, juries can see things differently, and that may be actually a little unsettling to people. It is as a lawyer as well. Wow, you can have the same evidence presented, and 12 folks in one place say one thing, and 12 folks in another place say another thing. The thing that struck me about this case is there's a confession. And a confession is a very, very powerful piece of evidence in front of a jury. But it's all in the way the confession was taken, the mental stability or emotional well-being. What concerned me is just the clip you played a little bit, where the cop is leading him, rather than feed the information, let him bring the information to you. And another technique, Bill, that we like to do it right, is to ask him data that only the perpetrator could know.
Bill, I mean, closure for the family, horrific case. One way or the other, a 30-year-old young woman is dead. And how much time before local politicians try to politicize the verdict and score points?
I hope they don't. I think what you saw here is, I hope justice is served. Bob brings up a really interesting point about, the confession, and that's always a question. But you had a hung jury the first time, and now you have this adjudication. I think this gives it some validity. They kind of went at this twice now. But I'm thinking about the family. I'm exactly where you are.
Right.
This father found his daughter, right? And you don't realize that the trauma and what they've been dealing with. So if there's any victory here, and there really isn't, let's be honest, this young woman's gone and her family's devastated forever, it's the closure it brings to the family.
Well, we're certainly praying for the Vetrano family. Thanks, guys.